Hello and welcome back to my channel. We are literally just in the door from group and we have to get a bit of a wiggle on today because my able cameraman, bless him, has to go to work. So how did I do this week? Well, I did my 4 healthy extra choices. I averaged 11 sins a day because my total count for the week was 77.5 sins, so that was 11 a day, and I lost a pound. That's the pound I put on last week, I think. It's been a good week food-wise. I've been really happy with what I was eating. 3 birthdays this week, and that for me is not 3 for myself personally, but 2 family and 1 friend. Birthdays for me used to be a really good excuse to pig out. It didn't have to be my birthday, it could be anybody's. And this week I never gave it a thought, and that's been quite freeing, really. On Wednesday, when it was my friend's birthday, we went to the local garden centre and I opted to have one of my favourite things, which is a scone. People who watch me regularly will know I love scones. And I opted to have a cherry scone. That was 15 sins. Not a problem. So on Wednesday, I think I actually had 21.5 sins. But that's on plan. That's fine for me. And yeah, I say quite freeing because these sort of occasions are no longer excuses to eat, and that's all they ever were. They were never reasons with me, they were always excuses. So, went to group this morning, stood in the queue, looking for a maintain, got a pound loss, that's fine. If I could go up one week a pound, down the next week a pound, and continue that way, I'd be perfectly happy. It allows me to eat really well and really comfortably. In group this morning we had a 4 stone award. No, let me get it right. A 4.5 stone award and a 6 stone award. And I just, again, find it really inspiring. We've got a young lady who is £3.5 away from her 6 stone award in 49 weeks. It's great. You see people living this plan, not working it like it's hard work, but just living it like it's a really nice lifestyle. And we have some really interesting chats in our group. One of the things we were talking about this morning was salads, because we have a dear lady in our group who's actually a greengrocer. We had a really interesting conversation about salad. And then as we went further around the room, still talking pretty much about, eating healthy salads and choices and mixing them up, Naomi actually asked us who likes a Caesar salad. Lots of people said they did, and who, when they were out in a restaurant, would see a Caesar salad as a healthy, low-sin option. And some said yeah, they would, and others said, well, think about the dressing, think about the croutons, think about the fatty bacon, think about the Parmesan cheese, and immediately you start adding up the sins. And Naomi said she had once done a talk at head office about Caesar salads, and they can be 50 sins in a restaurant. And a lady in the group spoke and said, she's a chef, I actually work in a large restaurant, and the dressing that we use in restaurants, and she's worked in restaurants for years, is not the sort of dressing you would get out of a bottle in the supermarket. It's way, way more luxury than that, and way, way more sins. So we were all saying, you go out for supper and think, well, I won't have the whatever and steak and chips. I'll opt for the Caesar salad. But actually, sin-wise, you'd be better off having steak and chips. So these things are always worth looking at. A lady sitting behind me this morning had said last week that she must try harder. She's a Target member, but she got towards the top of her target, wanted to shed a bit this week, and so she changed out her wraps, and I thought this was interesting. Instead of using bee-free wraps or whichever, I think the Weight Watchers ones are healthy extras, she opted to make egg wraps. Now these are probably in one of the books or magazines, but she literally used 2 eggs, made an omelette mixture, cooked it like an omelette but in a large pan so it was very thin, then let it cool and actually use the egg wrap in place of a, bread wrap, whatever the others are made out of. And she lost £2.5, and she's a Target member. And all of these little tips, they're not tricks, they're tips, are the little things that make big differences. And I just found that, again, motivating. Because every week, if you're there in group, you'll hear things like this that you can add to your repertoire. Well, I can add to my repertoire that give me ideas about how to keep it interesting. One of the things we've been looking at this week, and neither Joe nor I are huge meat eaters, but we decided this week we would go out and buy some meat that was low sin, low fat, healthier alternatives. Now last week I showed the beef that I had found in Asda that was nitrate and additive free. This week I'm bringing one, is that in shot, Joe?
Oh, sorry, it's turn it side, other side. Yeah, right.
This is Aldi's equivalent, and this is literally roast beef just with salt and pepper, £1.89, and it is nice, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's the best one I've had.
We liked it. I mean, everybody's taste is different, but we liked it better than the Asda one and better than the Sainsbury's version. So again, the reason we choose that is because it has no nitrates and no additives. Then we went into Marks and Spencer's yesterday and we bought veal. No, this is not veal, this is venison. A couple of venison leg steaks, which again, it's a change. It's red meat, but it makes a change and it's low fat.
And it's also gluten-free.
It says gluten-free on it.
Gluten-free.
You wouldn't expect meat to have gluten in it, would you? But
No.
they add some crazy things these days. So not all meat is gluten-free. May have some added. These are, you say
I'll
it,
hold
Joe.
them again. Rosé veal escalopes.
Escalopes.
Escalopes, yeah.
So veal escalopes. Again, not everybody will agree with eating veal. Personally, I think if you're killing an animal to eat it, you're killing an animal to eat it. I can't get too hooked up about, I mean, if they're raised in humane, safe conditions, whatever, I can't get too hooked up about that. Says the woman who cannot roast a whole chicken because it reminds her of a baby.
Or eat duck eggs.
Or eat duck eggs, because I just can't make myself. I eat chicken's eggs every day, but I cannot make myself eat a duck's egg. So I'm weird. I'm not claiming to be normal. I'm just weird about food, but I can eat that. Don't have a problem. And the other thing we bought was lamb's liver. That's £1.40 in Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah, it's a really good price, isn't it?
Is that 250 grams?
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's always nice. No sort of corey, veiny bits in it. So that's different things that we're trying, because we found that although we're not big meat eaters, when we were eating meat, we were always opting for, what would you say, Joe? A little bit of pork occasionally, but that always makes us thirsty. We eat some chicken, don't we? You buy organic chicken. And occasionally we eat steak.
Occasionally steak. But it's occasional, isn't it?
Yeah, we'd rather have a little bit of good meat, for what we call good meat. I have an aversion to buying like cheap chicken and things like that, because I'm just worried about where it comes from. And I know a lot of meat comes in from abroad, and maybe their standards are higher than ours. Maybe it's all in my head. But I'm weird. I'm funny. I used to be a vegetarian for those reasons. I'm not anymore. So, what else did I bring from group this morning? Well, I want to ask a question. You know the clothes throw for cancer research that we're currently doing at Slimming World? 40,000 purple bags were produced. 4,000 of those bags have a gold, I don't know if it's a gold lining or a gold inset inside them. And those 4,000 bags go into a drawer, and the first prize is to meet Peter Andre. The second prize is, I think it's shopping vouchers. So I want to ask, of all the people who watch this video this week, and that will probably be somewhere between 600 and 1,000 people, did anybody get a gold bag? Now, in group this morning, we gave out our bags last week and they all came back. We had a tray, literally, Naomi and Kelvin had a trailer on their four-wheel drive today that went full of bags to cancer research. And we had 2 bags left. Nobody had had a gold bag. And Kelvin said, we've just got 2 bags left if anybody would like a bag. And 2 people took the bags. And then Naomi asked, did anybody get the gold bag? A gold bag? And no. And then a scream went up in the room because one of the ladies who had just taken the 2 last bags got a gold bag. So yeah, we got 1 in our group out of probably a couple of hundred. So yeah, I want to ask that question this week. Did any of you, anybody watching this video, get a gold bag? And let us know if you get to meet Peter Andre. Or better still, let us know if you get the shopping vouchers.
Yeah, I think I'd rather.
I'm sure Peter. Well, you're a bloke. I'm sure Peter Andre is a really nice guy, and it's great that he's got involved with this charitable work. But I think the shopping vouchers could be more fun. My final food item that I'm bringing is luxury organic rice pudding in a little pot. Yeah. These are 4.5 sins. Can you tell us what it says it is and it's organic rice pudding, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, organic rice pudding.
But it's really creamy and delicious.
Baked in the oven.
Baked in the oven. I like it. I like rice pudding cold, so I'm a bit... We buy these through a shopping thing that we do with a company in Hull called Abel and Cole, and we have a delivery on a Friday, and they do some really lovely food. They do fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, meat, fish, tinned stuff, jams, desserts, all sorts of things, don't they, Joe?
Yeah.
Their website is really worth looking at, and I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I'm just telling you this because it's something I use that I really enjoy. You only have to place, they don't deliver to every area of the country. You have to check your postcode, but minimum order £12.50, delivery charge £1.25, which I think is really good. And they deliver in the area we live in our town, on a Friday morning. And the chappie comes along at 7 o'clock on a Friday morning and leaves his boxes in our garage and takes away last week's boxes. And it just seems like a really good service to get things that are a bit different. And their stuff is excellent quality, really excellent quality. So we buy these. I would have one of these for 4.5 sins, but generally buy them for an elderly gentleman who's in his 80s and is housebound, and send them to him via a friend who we see once a week. Well, it's a long story, but I'll tell you anyway. We went to drop some stuff off at our friend's yesterday, and she wasn't in, so we popped round to this gentleman's to deliver the things ourselves. And rang his doorbell, and he has an automatic release on his door because he's quite disabled. And he let me in, and I shouted, "Yoo-hoo, it's me," you know, as you do. And he kind of came towards me, and he looked at me, and he went, by gum, is it Jane?" And I said, "Yeah, it's me." And he went, "Well, my goodness," he says, "you ought to be careful, this wind don't blow thee right away." And I have to say, I must have stood there grinning like a Cheshire cat, because I've not seen this chap, not face to face, for a good long while. Send things to him via my friend. And it was lovely. It was a lovely feeling. And he actually went on to ask me, "How much weight have you lost in total? And keep it off, gal, you're doing really good." And it brought tears to my eyes, because you think you go through life and you do this, and it's not hard work, but it's not easy. And you think nobody notices, and people do notice.
Yeah, we have that nice builder man who notices us on our walks.
Oh yeah.
And he'll stop his van and say, "Plumber, are you still out?"
Yeah, when we've been walking around, we've often seen a builder working on different properties, and he shouts good morning to us. He sees us out walking, and he stopped, was it last week or the week before?
Yeah.
We were actually walking up near the crematorium, and this vehicle pulled up, and window went down, and it was this lovely, really lovely builder chap, and he's like, "Oh my word, you still out walking, you're doing great," and all this lot. You think, you walk around with your head down thinking nobody notices you. But if you're on this weight loss journey, whether you're on your first half stone or whether you're losing last half stone to get the target, people do notice. And it's so encouraging. And because this chappie noticed yesterday, I came out, I mean, it was 9:30 in the morning, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
I came out of this place with a bounce in my step. It set me up for the day. And sometimes I'll get a message from one of you lovely people on my comment section that I might put my iPad on at 7:30 in the morning to answer a few messages, and I get a really lovely message that just sets me off to having a great day. And I just want to say thank you, because you don't know what a difference you make when you send these encouraging, kind words. Please, if you watch anybody on here and you can send them a word of encouragement, do it. I try to do it because it keeps us going. It makes us realise we're not just invisible, and the changes we have made in our lives are being noticed by people. We don't do it for that. I don't think any of us do it for that. But a word of encouragement goes a long way. And I'm going to just tell you one more thing, and then I'm going to go, because I say Joe's got to go to work. But if you can bless somebody with food, if you're like me, I'm a feeder. I love to feed people. I love to cook for people. Joe and I cook for people. Joe loves cooking. We love to bless people with food, don't we, Joe?
Yeah.
It's just one of our things that blesses us. If you can buy something like these, or a cake from a nice pastry counter, or a little bowl of fruit, and you can bless a neighbour or a friend who's not well, maybe, or just a friend who's got a house full of kids who you think, take them a bowl of fruit or something. I believe it strengthens your journey. It certainly strengthens my journey, because I can still buy the food that I love and share it or give it away. We in the town we live in, and then also the city nearby, in our town we have a lovely big issue guy that we've been friendly with now for a couple of years, haven't we, Joe? And at one point, probably a year ago, we asked him, we were going into Marks and Spencer's, we said, would you like a cake? And he said, I don't actually eat cake, but I do love fruit. So occasionally, not every week, we'll buy him some fruit. It makes you feel good to share food. I think it's a custom, it's a tradition in this country to share food. And just of late, we've met another really nice young man who has the most gorgeous dog and is a big issue seller in the city. And it's nice to take him a treat for his dog. I mean, we love dogs. And then one day we said, would you like, Mark, his name is Mark, would you like a bar of chocolate? Because it was a really miserable day, wasn't it, Jay? Would you just like a bar of chocolate? And what do you like? And he said Snicker. Now, Snicker, or Marathon as it used to be called, has long been my favourite chocolate bar, so it made me smile. I used to buy the 4-packs of Snickers and sneak them into the bathroom and eat all 4. If I could get them, they're few and far between. I used to be able to get an 8-pack, and I could sneak that into the house and then eat 8 when Joe and Richard were out. Easily eat 8 Snickers. Now I can walk into a newsagent's, buy 1 Snicker bar and give it away with a smile, because I don't need it anymore. Now I could walk in there and I could buy 2, because I can have one myself and sin it, but I don't need it anymore. But I think what I'm going to say this week to anybody who's watching this, if you get an opportunity to bless somebody with food, even if it's anything. Your best friend's got a really busy week, she's got the decorators in, or she's having a new kitchen, because 2 or 3 people in our group are having new kitchens lately. Bless them by taking them a meal or something like that. Just even something simple, like give a big issue guy a bar of chocolate. It doesn't have to be anything expensive, but it really, really helps me to feel stronger in my relationship with food, to give food away, to bless other people with it. I'm not doing this because I'm holier than thou. Yeah, I'll walk around and I'll say I'm a Christian. I am not always a nice person. Being a Christian doesn't make you something magically nice. It should make me nicer than I am most of the time. Sometimes I could rage at the world because I see so much injustice. Sometimes things happen that really hurt. But what I'm finding today is that if I do nice things around food, and food is no longer my enemy or my best friend, it doesn't have any power over me anymore. Doing the nice things around food helps me to have a better relationship with her, keeps me on an even keel. So, great result this week. I'm really happy with the pound loss. I'm back to 9 stone 5.5, which there to 9 stone 7 feels really comfortable. I didn't make an effort to lose weight this week. 2 healthy extra A's, 2 healthy extra B's, or a combination thereof. 11 sins every day. I walked 17.2 miles, and I feel good. Been a really busy week. I owe a few emails to people, so I might try and catch up this afternoon. I am sorry if I've been ignoring emails this week. I just haven't had time. But yeah, hope you've all had a great week. I hope you've had good results. I'd love to hear them. And bless you all for watching. Thanks for staying with me. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. And remember, it works if you work it. It won't if you don't. Bye.
Bye.